But now we're talking about IT transformation. Differences are?
Yeah, well, a lot of this is going to come down to that aspect that I mentioned before in an episode of they like to use the word digital a lot. And so since they use the word digital a lot, sometimes we have terms that we've used in the past to pretty much mean the same thing, which is going to be, well, isn't that just like IT transformation? Isn't that the same as digital transformation? Well, some people might refer to it that way, and we would say, because ITIL's non-prescriptive, that, okay, that's fine if that's what you want to call it. However, they do delineate between the two. And so let me show you here. Got a little diagram that I'm going to get up my handy-dandy drawing utensil here. I know.
Magic pen.
It's a magic pen, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's take a look at this. Digital versus IT transformation. You can see you have the IT transformation, which is right here over on our left, and then we have the digital transformation. Now, the way we can kind of delineate, like I said, between the two, is notice that the digital transformation is all about this part right here, the business, the product, that it's going to come over here, and you're going to transform the way that your products, your services, the customer experience, your operating models,
and the business model.
The business model, the whole 9 yards is taken care of. Whereas we can see over here that IT transformation is only about the IT department. Very much anything that happens in the IT. So a lot of people say, but if you're talking about digital transformation, you're talking about the IT department as a part of that, right?
Because IT is, by its own nature, digital.
Yeah, and so you might think to yourself, well, okay, if that's the case, then why are we making such a big deal about it? Well, part of it is because so much more has occurred in the world of, we would say, IT or businesses, I should say, not IT, in businesses, that we need to remember that it's not just what's happening in the IT department. You could have this in your marketing department. You could have this in your, even your front desk and your receptionist, the guy or gal that sits there and what they're doing and how they interact with people as they walk in. Some people, you have a virtual desk and you have a virtual, okay, that's all not a part of the IT department. Now, the IT department might support it. The IT department might provide products for it or services for it, but it's not really the IT department. So that's why I believe that ITIL kind of focuses on the digital aspect versus IT aspect, and you have two terms. So let's take a look at this term right here. The definition is IT transformation focuses on how IT services and information, so you're like information services, the systems are developed, run, and supported.
And Chris, I don't see a star here, but I'm guessing this is exam.
Yeah, and more about the fact that if you are given a couple of things in a lineup, look to see what they're asking in the scenario. Are they only talking about the IT department? Are they only talking about like the information systems that you're running or something like that? They are referring to IT transformation. But if they're talking about the customer experience and the business model, as you said, operating models and all
digital
those
transformation.
Digital transformation. So in organizations where business and IT are regarded as separate, so you have the IT and then you've got the other elements of the business, and they're kind of considered separate organizational functions. What we taught, that's why they use IT transformation. They're going to say, look, this is just about what's happening in the IT department. This is what's happening in the IT organization. We're not really talking about all the other stuff that we're doing with marketing or sales or finance or HR or any of those type of things. No, we're just talking right here about the IT department. So that's kind of the, I don't want to say, some people say it's kind of making a mountain out of a molehill about this, but they want to make sure that when you're talking about where your money's being spent, where your budget's going, sometimes the IT department, everyone just assumes, okay, well, you're spending money on equipment and software and all that kind of stuff, right? Whereas sometimes with digital transformation, you're going to need to make this as a part of a project. You're going to have business cases, justification for the ROI. You're going to have all that and the kitchen sink. So they want to make sure that people have the ability to, again, delineate between those. The digital transformation is the full thing, the whole enchilada. IT transformation is much more of a, IT-centric type of thing.
And these days, because you mentioned kitchen sink, your kitchen sinks can be digital.
Yes, they can. Yes, they can. All right, so remember, one of the things that we're talking about here now with a lot of these terms is the so what. So what? And this is probably a big so what. Well, number one, the IT service provider and service consumer can both transform their management, their resource utilization, the products, the services, and they can be interrelated, but they don't significantly change the way that the organizations work together or the role of the IT in the service consumer organization. And a good example of that, of not only does the IT department or the organization need to do certain types of transformation, get that one out.
I had problems with that in the last episode.
Yeah, I know you did, and you recovered well, and hopefully I'm recovering well here.
You did fine.
All right, so if you think about it, the IT service provider is going to be doing some transforming, but so do consumers. So do the people receiving the services. Because it used to be, if you as an organization decided, okay, we're going to digitize things, we're going to put it up on a website somewhere, and we want to make that available to anybody that wants to have access anywhere in the world, kind of, that kind of a thing, right? Well, that was great, but at some point, though, they wanted to make it truly mobile. So right around, was it 2007, I do believe? Steve Jobs, walks out and he says, oh, and one more thing. These devices, right?
Yeah.
And, an Android also comes out. And you have in the palm of your hand
a mobile computer.
A mobile computer. And so here's the thing. That is, the consumer is transforming the way that he or she is doing what they're doing.
Computing.
Yeah, instead of, the big laptop like I have in front of me, they can now do it here. But notice something. If I'm the service provider and I go ahead and create a mobile app and I create all these really cool things, but yet no one shows up for the party on the service consumer side of things, that transformation doesn't go anywhere, does it?
I'm still getting a little bit of that tomato vibe going on here. What is ITIL actually shooting for exactly? Digital transformation, IT transformation. What are we talking about?
Okay, so like I said, part of it is the fact that when you have separate entities, they want to be able to delineate between the two. But they also understand that where business and IT are not regarded as separate organizational units or functions, what they would say is IT transformation isn't really the appropriate term because it focuses everything on the IT department. If we just fix everything in the IT department, or if we update our IT department, do something in our IT department, that makes us a digital organization. And ITIL says, au contraire, mon frère. That's not true, because there's so much more to it in digital transformation. And in high velocity IT, yeah, your IT department is on the bleeding edge of technology and they're going and rolling and moving fast. But if the rest of the organization doesn't absorb that as part of digital transformation, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's not all IT or not all contained in the IT department.
Exactly. And so one of the things that we want to do and kind of take away from this is not only from an exam standpoint, but also from just as an organization, if you are trying to get to that digital transformation stage, ITIL would say, hey, think of it as digital transformation is the whole thing. Everything in the kitchen sink. Whereas if you start only talking about IT transformation, guess where everybody's going to concentrate on? Just the IT department. They'll get the budget. They might be able to do certain things, but the rest of the organization, not so much.
Understand now. Good. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And this has been another wonderful episode of ITIL 4 Special